Hi, this is Senior Cadillac Sales Director Angela Dingman, and I have the pleasure of training you today on time management. Now, this is something that I learned how to do quickly in my business because as a mom of three, let's face it, life gets crazy. Now, when I originally started, they were very, very young, toddler ages. And now they're in elementary school, moving on into junior high. And so now they're busy with sports and all that kind of stuff. And so figuring out a way to really map out your week, your business, your home life, sports, all that kind of stuff. It's really important to master right away so that you can keep a flow. Now you guys have had we posted a list of kind of like what to do like on a Sunday as far as mapping out the rest of your week and kind of giving you a little bit of a guideline. But I'm going to dive into it just a little bit more. And so one thing that you want to do on when you're planning out your week is to really take advantage of the weekly plan sheet that Mary Kay's provided for us. It's in InTouch and it's amazing. It's just a blank sheet Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it allows you to really schedule your day hour by hour. Now, you may not be someone who has typically done that in the past, but let me tell you, a schedule creates freedom. Sounds kind of weird, right? Like you think, oh, I don't want to be trapped in a schedule. But when you know where your day is going, you tend to have more freeness, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, in feeling confident in where your day is going, okay? And so we want you to start using the weekly plan sheet so that you can really map out your week. Now, we gave you 3 examples to kind of look at, just to kind of get your brain moving in the right direction. But you want to put everything on there. You know, do you work a 9-to-5 job? Put that in there. Do you go to the gym? Do you have church functions? Do you have sporting events? You know, any of those kinds of things, you want to kind of map it out and then plug in your Mary Kay time where you see that you have the extra time. I remember one of the very first things when I was first starting, my life was crazy busy. I had a toddler, I had a baby, and I had a little girl in kindergarten. We had sports, we had Bible studies. My husband was gone all the time. And I just felt like I did not have any time. And it wasn't until I actually wrote everything down and I saw where I had holes that I realized, oh, my day isn't as crazy what it is. I'm just generally running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And so when you kind of map that out, you're able to figure it out. And so we want you to schedule in your family time. Put your 9-to-5 job in there. Put in your unit meetings. Unit meetings are crucial to your business and your success. You know, you don't go to school and not expect to get an A if you're not showing up to class, right? And so if you're in this business to advance and grow and create something magical, then you need to be at your unit meeting. So schedule that into your week. Schedule in your booking calls. Schedule in your coaching calls. Schedule in, shares with your director, all that kind of stuff. Map that all in where you've got pockets of time, whether or not it's at lunch hour, right after work. If you maybe sit in your car for an extra 15 minutes and you make a few calls before you hop in the car and drive home. Do you pull into the garage and make a few calls? I used to do that. I'd sit in my car in the garage. My husband would be like, I thought you came home like a half hour ago. I'm like, I did. I just made a few calls before I came in. And now that I'm in, I can love on everybody. And so figure out where you can plug that kind of stuff in. And so take advantage on Sundays or whatever day of the week is perfect for you and just kind of sit down and use this weekly plan sheet to map everything out for the week. And then it's going to give you that freedom to know that you are where you need to be and you can be present in that time. So that's the weekly plan sheet. The other thing I want to go over is getting a really good planner. Now, I am a physical paper planner person. Like I want to be able to touch it. I want to be able to write in it. I want to be able to scratch things off. I want to be able to flip the pages. Like I just love a good paper planner. I'm going to show you the one that I use. It does not have to be the one that you use. We got an amazing one that came in your starter kit, and so I encourage you to use it. And it's actually very similar to the one that I use. Mine's just a little bit bigger because I don't write tiny. So this is the planner that I use. It is called the Happy Planner. You can get it online or Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, places like that. But the reason I like this one is it's my go-to for everything. So I have a spot for my profile cards and my sales slips. I'm able to put in all my notes from any corporate events that I go to. So all my notes, everything is in here. So like this is literally my life. If I lost it, I would cry. Like you can ask my husband. I've like left it behind places and I'm like, oh, I have to get it. So here's my trick in really planning out and mapping things so that you can function. So now on that, color coordinating things are going to really make your life a lot easier. So if you use a digital calendar, then start figuring out colors. And just like in your weekly plan sheet, we have everything mapped out in colors. Use the same thing. And so for me, I really like these new pens that I just recently found. They're by Friction, but they're erasable. So you can write in a calendar and then you can erase it if things change, okay? And so by color coordinating your month, this just kind of gives you an example of what a month might look like for me. I can see what's going on in my schedule and then know what exactly it is just based on the color that it is. And so your brain files that information without saying like, oh, you've got so much on your calendar. It looks at it, it files it, and it's like, oh, there's a lot there, but it's not all your stuff, right? And so each of my kids have their own color. My husband has his own color. Mary Kay has 2 colors, so income producing activities versus non-income producing activities. So an income producing activity would be an actual beauty experience. That's going to be in one color. A non-income producing activity would be my booking calls or a sharing call or a coaching coffee, something like that. So anything that during that moment of time, cash is not physically going to be coming my direction. And so that's why I do 2 different colors so that my brain can kind of file, okay, is this something where I'm going to be making money or is this something where I'm going to help grow someone within their business, okay? And then just like regular life things and then just regular life events, they all have their own color. And so that's something that I strongly encourage you to do as well, because then you're going to file things are going to be less overwhelming feeling, and then your life will just kind of flow together. And so getting really good pens, whatever kind that you like. You don't have to use the ones that I do. I just like them. They're erasable. And then a really good calendar. And again, you can use the one from the company. Okay, so the next thing that we want to talk about is going to be your weekly tracking sheet. Okay, so in managing your time, you want to know what your averages are and your productivity and all that kind of stuff, so that you know how much time to schedule into your schedule for your beauty experiences. Okay, so an average beauty experience is going to be anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours depending on your drive time. Okay, so that's door to door time. So if you're someone who travels out of town and you do your beauty experiences, then you're going to be on the higher range. If you're more local, then they're going to be a lot quicker. So it really just kind of depends. And so when you're managing your time, you want to be tracking those things so that you can see if you're working really close to home and you're gone, for 3.5, 4 hours, and you're like, why is my experience so long? If you're tracking it, then we can see, what is it that maybe happened that your beauty experience is lasting longer, or, did you have 9 guests or did you have 3 guests? If you had 3 guests and it was a 3-hour party, we got to figure that out, right? If it was, 8 guests and it was a 3-hour party, well, it's probably because you took some time checking them all out, and that's totally normal. And yay, you just had 8 guests, right? And so we really want you to work on tracking everything. And so this weekly tracking sheet tracks your faces. It tracks your interviews as you move up the career path. It's going to track how many times that you're reaching out to customers, not just for sales, but just follow-up time. It's going to track your sales, which is really important as you're working towards your star or going on target for your car and that kind of stuff, and really figuring out what those true average per face numbers are. And so when you're tracking this, you can bring it to your director at the end of the week. We can help you see what you're doing, break down certain things. And this is going to allow us to help you figure out where maybe you might have a hole or where you excel in some areas and all that kind of stuff. And so you really want to make sure that you're working on tracking. So To master time management, you want to make sure that you have a day of the week where you're taking time to just do a brain dump. You're going to make sure that you're following all your profile cards, your referral forms, your sales slips, all that kind of stuff are all getting filed away, labeling products, that kind of stuff, and then mapping out your entire next week. I encourage you to share that with your spouse as well, because you want to make sure that you're both on the same page with everything. And then you want to make sure that you get a really good planner. So you either use the one that came in your kit and use colors to go with it, find another one that gets you excited, or use a digital one. But just make sure that you're writing everything down, and then make sure that you're tracking stuff. And this is going to lead to you being a master at your time.